I've just been to ASCO in Chicago, along with 34,000 other people, and it's the usual marketplace. A lot of good data on this year, but what people mostly use ASCO for is networking and getting jobs and doing audit committees and clinical trials planning committees and so on, and that always happening all the time, all over the place. So the take-home top liners from ASCO are 3 or 4 in number. Rick Schulsky, the Chief Medical Officer of ASCO, put a randomized trial of multiple myeloma up in top place. And he was underlining daratumumab plus bortezomib and dexamethasone over the last couple. And the partial response rate was 29%, going up to 50% with the addition of daratumumab. And the complete remission rate, this is in multiple myeloma, went from 9% to 19%. So that's impressive, and that was his choice for the take-home message, the practice-changing ones, if you like. Then there was breast cancer, and it looks as if the story of tamoxifen 5 years versus tamoxifen 10 years in estrogen receptor-positive breast cancer has been repeated now with letrozole. So letrozole 10 years is better than letrozole 5 years. Duration of treatment also in radiation therapy for prostate cancer. It looks as if taking 8 weeks of prostate cancer and contracting that into 4 weeks is just as good, and in fact might even be better. And then brain cancer, sort of supplementary study, but a good one on temozolomide in anaplastic glioblastomas added to radiation therapy. We've known for a while that temozolomide, although it wasn't designed to be a radiosensitizing drug, is that. And adjuvant temozolomide after radiation therapy does seem to improve the long-term outcome, something like 40% up to 55% at 5 years. So that's all good news. I suppose we should add in pancreas cancer, for which there's so little to do with advanced pancreas cancer, and this was a randomized study of gemcitabine plus capecitabine versus gemcitabine, and the 5-year survival was 29% for the combination and 16% for the single agent. Now, a couple of interesting studies on antibody drug complexes, or ADCs. Difficult to get the names of the drugs out, but in small cell lung cancer there was really impressive performance by rovalipituzumab plus, that was the antibody. The drug was tezarine, and this of course is a dreadfully difficult disease to manage after the usual sort of quick disappearance of cancer and the equally quick reappearance. And the interesting thing about this, apart from the ADC, was that there was a good marker called DLL3. I spent a long time in the Netherlands between 1979 and 1989 working on intraperitoneal chemotherapy for minimal residual disease and adjuvant treatment of ovarian cancer, notoriously difficult to produce cures in that disease, and intraperitoneal chemotherapy was really quite cumbersome and quite toxic. However, we had complete remissions in patients who had progressed on the same drug given IV. The drug mostly was cisplatin. Now it seems that some of the problems have been resolved with the use of carboplatin instead of cisplatin, and a randomized trial of carbo IV and IP seems to be superior to just IV carboplatin. Also increasing the number of stem cell transplants in neuroblastoma, clear improvement on neuroblastoma patients who were only treated with 1 stem cell transplant. Personalized medicine, precision medicine, whatever you want to call it, stratified medicine, is being tested in a lot of places, and some of the results have been really quite disappointing, given a whole batch of cancers. It was difficult to find the mutations, and then when you find the mutations, you haven't got the drug which fits the mutations. This time there was a really nice paper on a study of 129 patients with 12 different cancers, and in 29 of them there was clinical response to trial drugs which have not yet been approved by the FDA. So I thought that was giving some hope that we might be going down the right road. Not the same huge harvest of PD-L1, PD-L2 drugs, the immuno-oncology drugs at this meeting, but there was a new tumor type shown to be responding. That was bladder cancer, and the drug was atezolizumab. A couple of interesting things about doing away with repetitive tissue biopsies. It's a big study of 15,000 patients where liquid biopsy was compared to tissue biopsy, and this was 50 cancers. It was a huge study. And interestingly, there was a good match, almost a 90% match with the mutations in the liquid biopsy samples and the tissue biopsy. And that's actually good news for testing out new drugs and finding quickly whether they're targeting properly or not. Then there was an interesting observation, which a lot of surgeons are kicking themselves about, and that is that patients who've got cancer of the colon on the right side do much worse than patients who've got cancer of the colon on the left-hand side. No more to say about that, just be aware of it. And then lastly, I thought a really nice bit of new technology, namely an app for patients who've got non-small cell lung cancer to report their symptoms, their post-treatment symptoms, their side effects. And just using this app alone in a randomized trial showed that the survival of these non-small cell lung cancer patients went up from 12 months median survival to 19 months, just by being able to use the app to alert the caring doctor and nurse and supportive team that there were some problems. And early intervention prolonged life by 7 months. Good news for next year's ASCO 2017, again in Chicago.